And welcome to today's edition of Weathering the Storms of Life with the Rangers. Rob Rains at SteelSportsPage.com. Sally Tippett Rains here as well. Also put this up, of course, on our charity site, rainbowsforkids.org. We had a big day for the charity yesterday.
It was great. We had a really cool parade with Mickey Mouse in it, and check out rainbowsforkids.org to see some pictures later today.
Great. So yeah,
we appreciate everybody that helped. It was a wonderful day.
It was, and it proves that you can still do some stuff and have fun during this period of stay-at-home time. You just have to be careful and go back.
Right. We parked the family's cars at a social distance. Mickey Mouse and the police and various other people came by and entertained them, and it was just a wonderful day.
Yeah. So thanks to everybody who participated in that. Your words of wisdom yesterday were giving kids something to look forward to, which is what we did yesterday. But how about today?
Today is we just have to notice the little blessings that happen to us every day in life. I've got a little saying that I hang on my wall that says, God blesses us every day. It's up to us to notice. And that is so true. Mm-hmm. Every little thing that happens to us throughout the day, that some things we think are a big pain or whatever, there's little good things in everything, little blessings in everything. And we do try to live our life like that.
We do. So we're moving on to today's topics for the quizzes as we've gone through the decades here of the last part of Cardinal baseball. We're up to the 2010s. The last 10 years in Cardinal baseball will be the subject of our questions today. We'll ask 10 questions and go through them all and then go back and give you the answers. So hopefully you'll play along. And these are all current questions. So hopefully even the newer, younger fans will be able to get a perfect 10 on these scores. So
I doubt it, but
see how many of these you remember.
He makes some of these questions awfully hard. I do understand you out there that don't get them, but the ones who get them, let us know if you're getting them all and if you're getting 10s on all of our quizzes.
Exactly. We always say there's no prizes, but maybe if somebody documents that they went 10 for 10, we could give them a prize.
Possibly.
Okay. Question 1. Before Albert Pujols hit 3 home runs in Game 3 of the 2011 World Series in Texas, only 2 players had previously accomplished that feat. One of those players did it twice, and both times it was against the Cardinals in the World Series. Who was that player?
Question 2. In Game 6 of the World Series, which will forever be referred to as the David Freese game, who was the winning pitcher? Wow, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. At the trading deadline in 2004, question 3, who were the 2 players that the Cardinals dealt to the Red Sox and obtained John Lackey and Corey Luttrell in return? The 2 players the Cardinals traded to the Red Sox and the trading deadline in the summer of 2014.
Question 4. During his rookie season in 2018, Jordan Hicks was timed with throwing the fastest pitch in MLB that season. How fast was that pitch that Jordan Hicks threw?
Mm-hmm. Question 5. When Paul Goldschmidt started at first base on opening day last season, it marked the 5th consecutive year that the Cardinals had a different player be the starting first baseman on opening day. How many of those other 4 can you name? The 4 starting first basemen in order on opening day prior to Paul Goldschmidt getting that job last year.
And question 6. With his home run in the 2011 World Series, David Freese joined what other St. Louisan who hit a home run in his hometown of St. Louis for the Cardinals in the World Series?
Question 7. If Yadier Molina is the Cardinals' starting opening day catcher this season, assuming that there is an opening day here, how many years will that make it in a row that he has been the starter catching on opening day? How many years will this be for Yadier Molina as the Cardinals' starting catcher on opening day?
Is there going to be an opening day?
I think so. Yeah, I think we're still at least a month away from anything happening, but I think at some point, maybe July, end of July, I think we probably will see baseball. I don't think it's going to be with fans, but they're going to do everything they can to play some games this season.
Okay. Question 8. Who led the Cardinals in saves during the 2011 regular season with 24, but did not have any saves during the postseason that year?
Mm-hmm. Question 9. Who was the Cardinals scouting director in 2015 who later was fired and sent to prison after being implicated in a computer hacking scandal involving the Houston Astros? Who was the Cardinals scouting director in 2015 who later was fired and sent to prison after being implicated in a computer hacking scandal involving the Astros?
And the last question for today, Michael Wacha lost his bid for a no-hitter in the 9th inning twice in the decade. Once against the Nationals in 2013 and against the Pirates in 2018. Who got the 2 hits that denied Wacha the no-hitters?
Mm-hmm. Remember both of those games very well.
You know what I remember about the 2000s? Really, it's kind of like it was the change of the media in the world. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you notice that or realize that. I mean, you were involved in it, obviously, but years ago, you had the Post-Dispatch newspaper, or when the Globe was there, the Globe and Post, and KMOX. And then you also had 55 KSD at the time. And then it seemed like more people were starting sports stations, and in the 2010s, think of all the sports radio stations.
Yeah.
Some of them aren't even sports stations now, but there was, you had 1380, 590,
101,
101.
a couple other ones.
Yeah, there was
sports,
there was a lot, and then that's when people stopped just relying on one station or one newspaper for their information. They started being bigger on Twitter, scrolling Twitter for the information, online sites.
When Twitter really took off, when the internet really kind of exploded, as far as the blogs and things like that.
It's a completely different world, and it's kind of interesting because that's actually why you're here with STLSportspage.com. Was you were in the traditional medias, and you were working at 1380, and they changed their format in the middle of the much the middle of the day. But you had just been doing the STL Sports Page as kind of like a side note, and it's
way to promote the radio show, basically.
Correct, and it is actually taken off as a way for people to get their sports information. So it's just kind of information interesting. Where are we going from here? Different, a lot more online things are happening. A lot of podcasts, even not even just the radio stations. You can now listen to a lot of the shows on podcasts.
That's true.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right, on to the answers for the questions from the 2010 decade. The first other player who hit 3 home runs in the World Series in a game, did it twice, both times against the Cardinals, was Babe Ruth, of course, in the 1926 and the 1928 World Series. The only other player who had done it in a game prior to Albert Pujols doing it was Reggie Jackson, also for the Yankees in 1977. And, of course, the following year after Pujols did it, Pablo Sandoval of the Giants did it in a World Series game in 2012.
Question 2, Game 6 of the World Series, which will forever be referred to as the David Freese game. Oh, we all remember where we were. But anyway, who was the winning pitcher? It was Jake Westbrook.
Yeah, I still think that's probably the best World Series game that I've ever been involved with and covered on a personal basis. It was such a crazy game, and it was just, obviously so much riding on it. The Cardinals had to win that game before it's Game 7, and that's every kind of what you want every World Series, basically, is get it to Game 7 because it's the ultimate game. So it was just really kind of nerve-wracking, even if you weren't playing, if you were just a fan or a media person.
And on a personal note for us, David Freese had helped us that year with Rainbows for Kids.
Right.
And so he came out to our Rainbows for Kids baseball team, and it just so happened we were all gathered together. You were not there because you were at the ball game, but the Rainbows for Kids family and other kids with cancer were it was the Sunday Night Lights at Lindbergh.
It was one of the games in the NLCS, when he hit a key home run against Milwaukee to move him on to the World Series that night. So it was and I remember being at that game and telling you, guess what, Freese just did. So
it wasn't the famous. We didn't see the famous home run that night, but we did see an exciting home run, and I remember the whole place erupting because it was David Freese. They were so excited about it.
Key moment for the Cardinals in that playoff run for sure. All right, on to question 3. The Cardinals, 2 players the Cardinals traded to the Red Sox were, of course, Alan Craig and Joe Kelly. Kind of the mark of the end of Alan Craig's career. He really got hurt, before that, in St. Louis, and never really was able to come back from that injury. Now he's taking a job working for the front office for the Padres. So Kelly is now pitching for the Dodgers.
Question 4, during his rookie season in 2018, Jordan Hicks was timed with throwing the fastest pitch in the MLB. It was 105 miles per hour. Holy cow.
Yeah, and I remember being in the clubhouse after that game talking to, not only Hicks was, not that phased about really the best stuff with people who actually saw it and who followed Hicks, kind of along with their careers. Jack Flaherty, Alex Reyes were guys that were just like kind of, that's just sick. It's just really sick. That's all you can say about it. So. And hopefully Hicks is, doing well on his recovery from Tommy John surgery. And that's actually one thing, I guess, that this delay of not being able to play baseball, if you get it to July or August, he might be able to come back and be able to be a factor here in the last second half of the season, or at this season. We won't have a first half or a second half. It'll just be this season. So.
Hope he's working out.
I'm sure he is. And the next question about Paul Goldschmidt being the starting first baseman last year for the Cardinals. In the 5th consecutive year, they'd had a different starter at first base. How many could you name? Here's the list. 2015, it was Matt Adams. 2016, Matt Holliday. 2017, Matt Carpenter. Seemed like he had to have a first name of Matt to be the Cardinals' first baseman then. But that string broke in 2018 when Jose Martinez, remember, was trying to get in some games at first base, and he started at first base in the opener in 2018.
Question 6. With his home run in the 2011 World Series, David Freese joined what other St. Louisan who hit a home run in his hometown for the St. Louis Cardinals in a World Series game? It was Mike Shannon. He hit 3 total in World Series games.
Mm-hmm. One each in 64, 67, and 68. All at home, in home games at Busch Stadium. Question 7, Yadier Molina. This would make 15 consecutive starting opening day assignments for him on opening day of this year, whenever that is. Every year since 2005. It would tie him with Woodbrock for the most consecutive starts on opening day in franchise history. The team record, of course, held by Stan Musial, started 18 consecutive season openers.
What do you think Yadi's coming back? I mean,
I think they're going
to.
Yeah, I mean, he wants the 2-year contract, and I think the whole thing that's screwed everything up. Basically, he wanted to play for 2 more years. Well, the problem is this year, do you count this as a full season or not? So, I mean, I think they'll work it out. I mean, I think, there'll be some negotiations back and forth, but I think they'll work out something that he can retire as a Cardinal.
Okay. Question 8. Who led the Cardinals in saves during the 2011 regular season with 24, but did not have any saves during the postseason that year? It was Fernando Salas.
Yeah, that's because Jason Mott kind of became the closer right there toward the end of the season and carried that over into the World Series. But Salas did pitch in the series and stuff just as a setup guy and not as the closer. So, the Cardinal scouting director in the scandal in 2015 was Chris Correa, of course, a name that everybody probably remembers. And the 2 no-hitters that were broken up by Michael Wacha at both of those games, I remember them both very well. The 2013 game, Wacha was 1 out away from the no-hitter when Ryan Zimmerman got a base hit, infield single, the shortstop ground ball, just beat it out by a hair to break up the no-hitter. And then the game in 2018 was Colin Moran, who led off the 9th inning with a pinch hit single for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So still no hitters ever thrown at Busch Stadium at 3 since it opened in 2006, either for the Cardinals or against the Cardinals.
No, it looks like there will be no hits going on.
Yeah, nobody's got any hits at Busch Stadium this year so far. Yeah, so that's today's edition of Weathering the Storm of Life with the Rangers. Hope you went 10 for 10 on that quiz. We'll be back again soon here on SteelSportsPage.com, RainbowsForKids.org. Stay safe, everybody.